Boom, I hit record.
Hold on, man. We ain't got Jerome for the disclaimer.
Oh,
Y'all
yeah.
started? Hey, what's up,
Hey.
fellas? All right. We on?
Yeah.
All right.
You ready now?
What's up, Facebook family? We are once again the three-headed monster. Tonight's subject is very near and dear to a lot of us. We're going to talk about the rite of passage. As always, before we get into it deep, I'd like to do my disclaimer. Everything that you hear us say, everything you hear us talk about is strictly our opinion. Please don't believe anything that we tell you. Always research it for yourself. Find the truth for yourself. Never be led by those that you're not sure of. Once you get that information, come back. Let's politic. Let's build. So, back to the three-headed monster with our special guest, Big Ann. What's up, B?
What's up?
What's up, B?
Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Brother Brian, a.k.a. that Silverback. You know what I'm saying? We're about to bring some. Hey, I'm ready. I got my pen and paper right now because we're trying to do something different, but we're also trying to get the rite of passage for our young men. We are basically all of us is in our 40s plus, and then we need to start giving us some advice for our young generation. But right now, they need us more than ever. So if I'm still listening to the elders, you know, we will be elders to them. So let's try to see what we can get this information to them and see what ideas we can come up with. So, yo, what's up, Tut?
Yo, peace. What's the deal? What's the deal? King Tut representing the South.
That's South.
Speaking in 5 letters, man.
All right. All right. What's up, Ant? Talk to me, Ant.
Hey, yo, something wrong with my volume.
Ain't too much, man. Come check you guys out.
Really?
Hang out with y'all for a little bit.
All
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
All right. So the question: the rite of passage, is it important, or how important is the rite of passage for our young men, this generation that we're dealing with right now? Who want to jump in there?
I like Jerome. That's his thing. That's his baby, man. Go ahead, Jerome.
I think, to me, I think it's extremely important because with any society, the thing that what makes it a strong society is the structure that it has. And I think, you know, the rite of passage gives young people, not just boys, but girls also, gives them structure in life. It gives them something to aim for, guide for. It doesn't mean they all have to end up in the same place, but at least they have the same base structure to begin building life upon. I think it keeps communities steady because you know when you have that structure, you know where the youth minds are at. You know where the youth's direction is at, and so I think it guides the community better, keeps it stronger. That's it. That's my opinion. What's up, y'all?
Yeah, I agree, man. You know what I'm saying? It's very important for that to be established, man. You know, especially these days, man. It's so so volatile and so chaotic, man. That the young cats, man, need need somebody to help guide them, man. This is tough, terrain to go through, man, even for grown ass people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the dynamics of what's going on in the world, man, but particularly in America, it's very tough, man. When you get to a certain age as a black boy, because it's black boys are already looked at as grown men when they 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. So we got to start to establish at an early age, how to protect yourself, how to maneuver through this world, man. So the rite of passage, it definitely needed, man. You look at most societies, man, from Africa to to the Amazons or whatever, there's always a rite of passage, that young men go through to become men, I mentioned before that in the Amazon, the young boys, when they are 8 years old, the first 8 years they stay with the women in the women hut, but when they turn 8, they move to the men hut. So the men can teach them how to become men. So yeah, rite of passage definitely necessary.
I mean, you're exactly right. I agree, and but to the point that a rite of passage is only just basically a person changing or stratifying themselves, so to speak. When you're changing your class or group of people, with you a societal norm being changed, you know what I mean? So from going into a teenager into adulthood, you know, these men need this rite of passage because they have to get some of the basic do's and don'ts on how to survive, what a man is, you know, being a provider, you know what I'm saying, learning how to stand on your own square, you know, and if these things aren't taught, then these boys are more than likely to fall victim to a system that's already designed to, you know, lock you up through a medical or a criminal jurisdictional model, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, a rite of passage helps the youth change that group class a little smoother and be prepared for it too. So it isn't such a shock to their class or such a shock to their stratification that makes the youth give up so quick. You know what I'm saying? So when their goals, you know, when their intentions and shit is being supported and not forced, then it's conducive to making that child work harder, and the less obstacles that it faces, you know, it helps gain momentum. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
What you got, B?
but it is important because, you know, I know from, you know, me, Aunt, and Tut, where we grew up from, who did we have to give us anything other than, you know, that knowledge? I know Tut had his dad, but I mean, my dad was around, but my dad didn't have the knowledge that I got now. But you know, everybody has street knowledge. You know, it was a lot of broken homes. Basically, I know I came from a broken home, so you know, to me get to the level where I'm at now, I had to study myself, and it's something that I want to pass on to my boys. So I'll be bringing them up into the truth of this history, the truth of knowledge that I know of. And the more and more I'm growing on a daily basis, because I'm constantly still reading, I'm constantly allowing myself to still grow. So you'll never see me get to the point when I'm at that plateau and I say, I don't need no more information. But that's something that we have to build into our kids is be yearning for information. Always be just having that wanting to know something. Ask questions.
Yep.
Ask me questions. I'd be like, oh man, you're getting on my nerves. But at the same time, he wants that information. So we just gotta be right, you know, we have to be on that game to make sure we give them the right information and the right guidance so they can be successful in this next generation of kings and queens that we do have.
I think you said something that gets overlooked, but it's really important. You said you came from a broken home, right? Well, see, that's the importance of a rite of passage when you have elders. Even though there's not a father in the home, you still have a system of elders that can give that information, that can give that guidance, that can give that thing that is missing from the structure of that house. And that's why the community is so important, and that's why a rite of passage, it's not just showing the way. Like I said, it's a support system. It's a support system inside of the community. Mm-hmm. You know, you have elders that pass knowledge to the younger, and the younger that are helping with the younger than them. You know, it's a system of learning, a system of creating, a system of oneness.
And you're right. And that's what we've been trying to do for the last couple of months is trying to find out. We're trying to build a community. We're trying to build within ourselves. We building. When you got four guys on here, probably you got more that's gonna come on. But at the same time, we sit here and we talking about it. That's something that a lot of people can't do. We're not one of the ones that want to sit back and say, oh, I say this and say that, but don't want to, when it comes to stepping up to the plate and swing, you want to look at all these strikes go by. So at least we got the courage to come out. At least we got the courage to speak on it. At least we trying to do something, because right now the society and everything that's going on, we really got to, hey, we gotta tighten down, man. We have to protect our community. We have to protect our women. We have to protect our children. We have to protect our people, because they exterminate us left and right. And the question of our youth is why? And we have to be there to give them that true knowledge. So go ahead, Tut. I see your finger.
I know everybody's heard the term, everything happens for a reason, right?
Yeah.
We are all over here so that we can be the best human beings possible. Black, white, we over here to be the best human beings possible. Latino, I don't care whatever your ancestry, race you want to claim. We are over here to be the best humans possible. And we got infiltrated by the conquistadors, and it messed us up for a little while. But now that our people are recognizing consciousness of themselves and stuff, they gotta be able to relate to that, man. The youth, they got to be able to relate to the times and what's going on, you know what I mean? And, the relevancy that they teach in these education systems, it don't give the point of view that the black man suffers from, you know what I mean? So we got to have that, because there's a lot of struggles, just like B say, he come from a broken home. I had a father, but I mean, he passed when I was 10. So, I'm stuck to be the man of the house, or trying to be the man of the house, you know what I mean? So, we all had that struggle from certain situations when, our comfortable home was broken up. And we had to struggle and strive to shine bright like a diamond. And those things happen for a reason, to crystallize you into the ancient golden being you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that's the philosopher's stone that all the ancients have tried to look for, is the purification of man. You know what I mean? A man being able to just be righteous and upright in all his doings. And us as black men, we do it naturally. We do it naturally. So, a young man coming up, man, he definitely has to learn to understand knowledge of good and evil, I think.
You got something in?
Yeah, that the knowledge of good and evil, and I concur with you on that. And that's where the rite of passage come in, that it's to help them to identify what's good and what's evil, or what's the downfall if you take this type of road or whatever. Even though my father wasn't present in my life, I still have uncles, who still played a major role in my life, who gave me some type of guidance when it came to dealing with life, how to be a man. So each one has to teach one. And
right.
Rite of passage, you look at, like I say, you look at most society, they go through a rite of passage. You know, their shanties, you know, they go through, you know, a rite of passage where they go off in the wilderness for days. You know, they get circumcised. All this stuff is part of becoming a man. You know, your elders are showing you the way to become a man, because if you don't have the direction to become a man, you can't become a man. There got to be some type of representation of what a man takes. What is a man? So that's why the rite of passage is very necessary, particularly for our black boys. You know, as black fathers, with our sons, one rite of passage is how to deal with the police. If you driving in the car, you get pulled over, this is what you do. You put your hands on the wheels. You know what I'm saying? You already have your license out and paperwork already out. You say yes sir, no sir, and you don't pretty much put yourself in, you know, in harm's way.
Hey, let me correct that. Let me correct that, Ant. Coming from knowledge of good and evil here. The first thing you want to do when you get pulled over is turn your car off.
I mean, my point of this right here is that even with that, my point is that there's instruction how to be safe. Whether cut your car off or whatever, the point of it is that you got to have instruction to be safe. And that's the whole thing of it, that teaching our young men how to be safe, a rite of passage of, you know what I'm saying? So there's certain steps that we do that help guide our boys along the way. So the rite of passage comes in various ways. It comes in big, small ways, but whatever. That's still the rite of passage of how to protect yourself. And as fathers, we got to teach our sons, our black sons, how to maneuver this, you know, the whole police type of things, man. So, right. Yeah, the rite of passage.
Did he freeze up?
Yeah, I thought it was just me.
Nah, but one thing, till Ant get back and I'll let him finish his point, is that when we look at like today's society, we don't have a unified front. We don't. You back in?
Yeah.
Yeah, you froze up, man.
Yeah, my internet is bugging a little bit, but you know, I'm still here.
You want to finish your point?
My point of it is that, you know, the rite of passage, man, is necessary, Jerome. You own something, man, and you know, and right now, this time and point is very important. Like with my fraternity, man, Phi Beta Sigma, what we have is Sigma Beta Club. And with the Sigma Beta Club, it's still a rite of passage with that. We teach them certain things, you know what I'm saying, how to be young men, how to, you know, conduct themselves, how to, you know, do resume writing, how to do interviews, you know what I'm saying, how to dress. So we get them certain types of things that we do to help them become, you know, better people, you know what I'm saying? And as Tuck alluded to, we all strive to be better human beings at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't have the necessary tools to become a better person, you need that help to be guided along that situation. And the rite of passage allows you the opportunity to become a better person by having, you know, people who've been there before to show you what not to do. Then once that happens, then you got to start developing your own self. You know what I'm saying? Who are you? You know, but yeah, it's good for me, man.
Oh, go ahead, Jerome.
Okay. What I was going to say is when we talk about the rite of passage, the reason why you don't see it implemented, especially in our community, is because we have so many different views of what we think a man is. Ooh. We have so many different views of what we think is right to tell our sons, what's the right to tell our daughters. When you look at the system that controls us, it's unified. And it stays on point. It's been on point for hundreds of years, and it never varies. But with us, you know, what's a man? You know, what's a woman?
Dude, that's a great question, though. You know, what is a man?
So for us, we'd have to be unified on first what the basis of what a man is and what his role is in our society before we can even start to implement a system of teaching to give these young men, young women, for them going forward in life.
So as for you, Jerome, from your perspective, what would be the definition of a man to be able to help guide these young men? So you got to, let's say you start today with a rite of passage.
Right.
How did you approach that?
Wow.
Yeah, he was on the spot.
They training.
Yeah.
They training.
Right?
I think he listed. He said it before. You know what I'm saying, in another video that the training that's required to make a man.
Right.
Military, all that.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, go
But
ahead.
I mean, when it comes to us saying who a man is what we was taught in the past is not what we look at now.
Exactly.
So,
Right.
so it starts with maturity, but at the same time, like what Tug got me on is you got to know thyself. Once you
Right.
start knowing the person within and connecting with that inner man, everything is good. But go ahead, Tug.
I'm gonna hit you with something that just hit me. I just thought about too. It's also a proper vetting process. You understand what I'm saying? That some ain't worthy to go to the next step yet. You know what I'm saying?
That's when maturity come in.
Yeah, because some can get to the next step and fuck some shit up. Because they wasn't ready to be there yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, because it is a power. It is a great power.
And that's
it's a great
why,
responsibility.
right, that's why ancient African villages were built in what some French or German mathematician now calls fractals, but they were built in circles. You know what I'm saying? You had to get through layers to get to the chief all the way in the middle. And that's just layers, you know what I mean? To where you got to get to something, you know what I mean?
Right.
No, you're
Now,
right. You're right.
now for me, I used to coach AAU basketball for years, right? So there's levels to your skill level moving up, right? But there was something what we call feeder systems, where you would have the younger children, they were taught principles of what they were going to do when they were older. They might not have to run the same complex system as the older kids, but they got the basics. And as they moved up in years in this feeder system, by the time it was time for their rite of passage, they had all this through the feeder system that had them prepared to be, elite players when it was time for them to perform.
Right.
I think when we talk about a rite of passage, we doing it like, these kids ain't getting no training. They ain't understanding nothing until, okay, now you're 13. Now this is what you're gonna have to do to be a man. You have to have a feeder system. You have to have training from when they a child.
Yeah, correct.
And you got to bring them up in the right way, and so that they learn. So the learning process or the learning curve, when it's time for them to go through the rite of passage, if you will, it's not so steep.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and I agree with. I mean, there has to be a process, certain steps. You know what I'm saying? A 5, 6, 7-year-old, you giving them certain information at an early age to prepare them for the next stage. So when they reach 10 or whatever, now they probably doing a little more than they did at 7. When they hit 11, now they probably cutting grabs, shit like this. So I mean, it's a process that takes place with that. I concur with you in that. But you mentioned something about what is a man, right?
Right.
What can be presented to any young man? What's a man? You know what I'm saying? Definition of a man. What's a vision of a man? What does a man consist of?
Right. I mean, now that is a very, very complex
That's
question.
a complex question.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, but he alluded to that.
That's a whole segment by itself, though.
You know what I'm saying? But he made a point that you got to figure out what that is first in order for us to make that stage. I mean,
now we can't incriminate upon the true nature of just life's growth in itself by forcing children to some things, because I think that's the beauty of life, is having that choice. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, good point.
So a child, their first 7 years of growth, they're coming through their animal instinct years, and this is when the child has to learn, what to do and what not to do, and being able to problem solve and do stuff, So So and what urges, what not to do, and what's good, what's bad, what they get a whooping for. So those are your animal instinct years, your first 7 years, you know. And so we can't force nothing on a child's pure mind. You understand what I'm saying? Now we have lives, and the first thing that teaches a child is what they see. So when a child sees productivity in his parents, he dreams of productivity for him or herself. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
When a child sees an honorable parent, it makes them want to be an honorable person.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
so now we get to the meat of things. Now this is now we get somewhere. Good point you're making.
Let me
You know
throw
what I'm saying?
this at you.
You know what I'm saying? Like visualizing someone being honorable, visualize someone being productive. So that's part of it. Okay, now we building that man up to, you know what I'm saying, to be presented to these kids. All right, Tug, good point, man. Keep rolling, man.
No, check this out. Now think about this. Growing up in the church, at the age of 12, 13, what do they do to you?
There you go.
No, what do they do to you?
They baptize your ass.
So in other words, they make you make a decision at that age of something that you don't even have no idea what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's forcing you. That's
And
forcing
that,
you.
and that was something for us because.
But see, this is, and I see where you're going, Brian. I don't want to touch his religion yet, but I want to say this.
I was just saying that as a point. I know.
I got you. Let me say this. This is what we fail to forget, and this is how the system looks at you. Is once you turn a certain age, you're a man, so you have full knowledge of a man, right? Mm-hmm. But what we should realize, just because it's a rite of passage and you're at the age to become a man, doesn't mean you have full knowledge. I mean, what you know at 18 is dwarfed by what you know by 30.
Right.
What you know at 40 dwarfs what you know at 30. So I mean, you know that even when you get the label as a man, you're still evolving, you're still growing, you're still learning. And hopefully you'll learn until, you know, it's time for you to be an ancestor. So you gotta, there's stages to being a man too.
Now, I'm gonna reverse it now here and be the devil's advocate now. Stimulating thought. Now, a rite of passage. Now, this can incriminate upon the pure nature of individuality, of being able to just witness the growth of human nature through rebirth and watching. You ever seen some kid, everybody said before, said, that little baby done been here before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They say that shit about me. Hey, but you know, it's like the nature of man himself, it takes a hold of him, you know what I mean? And, you know, you are able to survive by instinct. So forcing a rite of passage upon a person is not, you're catering to how this person grows themselves. So you're structuring how someone learns, and they may not learn how you learn. This is why mental disorders and shit get misdiagnosed and everything, because they don't understand learning curves and how people learn and how to teach properly.
Right.
Hold on.
I think.
Let me jump in. Let me take a swing at this right now. Let me take a swing at this right now. How about this? Because I mean, I'm gonna tell you now, I didn't really understand being a man until I was like in my 30s. I already had 5, 6 kids at that time. Didn't understand what manhood was because I didn't understand the love aspect of what you have to do. Because you have to love thyself first. If you don't love yourself, you cannot do nothing, because what you can't God know, and you can't show nobody else who they are, because you have to have that compassion to want to actually show somebody that we, at this time and this the way the age and this life that we don't have patience to show nobody nothing. We actually we allowing music, we allowing the TV, we're allowing the video games to give our kids a rite of passage to destruction. We don't even want to talk to our kids no more. We letting the school system teach them the retarded history, the misled history. We, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there. The church ain't helping. My wife's standing here. That's why I started smiling. But at the same time, though, what are we teaching our kids? What are us men teaching our kids? Because I'm gonna say now, I messed up with my son, my oldest boy, because I told him to chase women. Now, would I tell my other boys to do that? Hell no, because there's no respect. That's the key, respect. Because we don't show our kids to respect nobody, no respect no elders. If you say something to my kid, I'm coming at you because you saying something about my kid. So we're not showing our kids nothing but destruction, because we're not even showing them anything positive. We're showing them how to be negative. So that's my thought on what we do, because we are destroying our own community. Because I knew when I grew up, Tut mom probably can say something to me, deal with me, handling me right then in the spot, and then go tell my mom or go tell my grandma. And then I have to deal with it then. So in other words, the community died because everybody, you know, not saying everybody having kids younger, but at the same time, you can't say nothing to nobody else's kid because that person gets offended. Now we've become a softer nation. We're becoming weakened in the community because of emotions. Boom.
But if those core values were in that household, then a more conductive human coming out of that house, that human coming out of that house is a more conductive agent to make life better. Coming out of a good home, coming out of, you know, a loved family, not too much in poverty. The poverty rate is way too high, you know what I'm saying? And there's also got them so much assistance that can be provided that knowledge is not being shared enough. You know what I'm saying? There's government help plans that help people out all kind of ways, and then that shit is secretive and shit. You know what I mean? So that's where intelligence comes into play. We ain't looking for loopholes. You know what I mean? We already understand we was in slavery, quote unquote, and goddamn indentured servitude for life. Excuse me. So if you don't study yourself worthy, you can't break the chains, man.
Facts.
You can't break the chains, man, if you don't study yourself worthy, because it was a psychological slavery. You know what I'm saying? Way more than it was physical. I mean, it was physical, true indeed, but the mind has the body. They broke us down mentally by caging us physically. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's hard to get out of your head. And then they promote the death of Jesus in your belief system. That if you go against this blatant, obvious BS in your face, hell, you gonna get killed.
I like a Jerome, because Jerome was like, he ain't really wants to go religion.
Hey, this is a Christian nation, man. I mean, I live a little.
No, because it's facts, because it's something that we do have to deal with. It's something that needs to be brought up.
It is.
But go ahead, Jerome. I know you.
Yeah, let me get in on this, because I want to get back to a point that Tut was making when he was talking about individuality. You know, and everybody growing organically to be a man, to be a woman. And I absolutely believe that rite of passage is not the for all, be all, this is what a man is. The rite of passage is the right into manhood. And so it gives you the basis of what manhood is. It's kind of like you could till and cultivate soil, but it doesn't mean the same kind of plants are going to come up. You could have 3 trees grow and they all bloom different colors, you know, but you have to till the soil so it's cultivated enough to where there is growth. You know, so when I look at it, it's just like if you leave kids unattended on the street, 90% of them are going to die in the street. You know, you're going to have that 10% that's going to come out of the street, you know, but wouldn't you better the odds giving them all the same basis where they could grow from? You know, and that's all what I'm talking about with a rite of passage. It's not, this is what a man is, and you do this, and this is how you go through life. No, you know, I'm talking about a basis. Let me give you knowledge on business. Let me give you knowledge on the military. Let me give you knowledge on relationships. What you do with that knowledge, you grow organically as a man. Because like I said, me at 18 is way different than me right now, you know. So you're going to grow, you're going to evolve, you're going to change into who you truly are. Brian talks about loving yourself. So if you teach these young men, these young women to love themselves and know themselves at an earlier age, you know, they'll find their true selves.
Buyout. There you go. There you go. Exactly. At an early age, if a child is taught and even given a name or something to live up to, a meaning to themselves, you know, that means a lot, you know what I'm saying? To where they hear their name said as a child is speaking to the angels of heaven forever, you know what I'm saying? So a child at an early age, it's simple stuff that we're trying to teach. I mean, that's why the school system that everybody goes to, the public education system, it's a basic learning system. So therefore, you going through school for 12 years on some stupid shit you could have learned by the time you was 6, 7 years old.
Right.
And you can teach some stuff by the time somebody's 7, 6, 7, 8 years old that'll last with that child forever by what they're seeing growing up. Because a child is going to want to emulate what they look up to. Your parents ought to be idolized when they're fair and they have this image bestowed upon them. You know what I mean? So
that should be your first heroes.
Your first heroes, man. Your first heroes, man. If your parents ain't your heroes, then life's a struggle.
Facts.
Defining, having stressful situations, trying to find internal fortitude to move on and fight through shit. You know, you going faced with the fight or flight syndrome, whether you're going to stand up and fight or run away, you know. But if you're built, you know, I always used to, when I used to rap, I used to have a rap career back in the day. I used to have a rhyme, soldiers are made, warriors are born. Yeah, that's a quote. That's my shit. Somebody use it. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. Soldiers are made, warriors are born. And so when a child is born from that honor of a parent, you make this child's genetic more purified. You know what I'm saying? It was an old video game we used to play back in the day. I think they still do it somewhat on the little Madden or whatever. When you mate two parents with their skills, an athletic parent with a female, with a smart, nerdy male man, how to make a smarter athlete, you know what I'm saying? And she was, you know what I'm saying? Matching up genetics. It's a ratio swap of these chromosomes, you know what I'm saying? And you rolling some mega dice. And the better shit you put in it on your half, on your 23 chromosome, the better shit you're gonna be able to goddamn see grow up. You know what I mean? You putting in 23 chromosomes from a male and a female, making 46 chromosomes to create a human being. So when these two beings, they're both 23, is honorable, good in whatever path they are, the chemistry makes a more perfect person. You know what I mean?
All right,
True.
all right. And talk to me.
I mean, y'all make some good points, man. You know, some great points, man. One thing is, as far as my background, as far as sociology and things of that nature, the social learning theory, you know, and goes back to speaking of what Tuck was saying, is as far as the modeling from parents, stuff like that. You know, and as Jerome alluded to as well, as far as representation, you know, if your parents are not your heroes, then you're going to seek somebody out to be your hero. And most likely than not, it's not going to be the right person to be your hero. So that first example does come from home. That first social learning comes from home. And how that social learning is developed makes a big difference how that child or that kid grows up. And as Tuck alluded to as well, as far as you don't have to go to school to learn certain things, which you probably should be learning in the home anyhow before you get to school. So once you get to school, that's second nature to you, or they're just a stepping stone to get somewhere else. But great points, guys. I mean, great points.
All right, all right. But I mean, but it's a journey. And like I said, everybody can't, like to say, everybody can't be warriors. You know, everybody that joined the military ain't soldiers. You find your skill set. So when it comes to tribal, everybody has their own position. Everybody is a part of the same body. You know what I'm saying? In other words, it makes everything functions as one. We happen to be so individualized that nobody can function nothing. You know, your arms and your fingers can't be going in two different directions because, or your left foot and your right foot has to be going in the same direction. One can't be going in the other direction. So that's what's wrong with our community now is we're so separating. We separated us. No, I ain't gonna say we did it to ourselves, but we did contribute to ourselves.
Yeah.
But we allow somebody else to lead us into something that we're not. So what we need to do is get back to what the basics are.
Go ahead, Ted.
Back to really being, because it's like, and it's funny because, when I was growing up, my dad was my hero. Before my dad died, my dad was my hero.
He can shoot the rock too better than you.
But it was something that,
I shot ball with him.
So it was to a point that it wasn't that, it was just he grew into being a father.
Right.
Instead of just being a dad. Because it's a difference between a dad and a father. To me.
Right.
To me.
Right.
So now I tell my oldest kids, I was a dad. I wasn't a father. I'm a father now. You know what I'm saying? But it was something that I had to learn about myself.
Hey, now you hit a big point. Now, also, like you said, it's the difference between being a father. What did you say? A father and a what?
Daddy.
Yeah. Okay. Now, my exact sentiment would say also is a difference between being a father and a man. Cause like I was raised, I seen what a father was, but I still had to learn how to be a man. I had to wear them motherfucking stripes. That motherfucker told me a lot of shit, but I had to wear them stripes because I wanted to press the button. So if one feels the fire, it burns them and makes them into the diamond. Everyone is made to excel in their own right. And if one person wants to continuously press the button and burn himself and feel fire and blaze up, I know. So, and he becomes, whatever. So, curiosity killed the cat, supposedly from the Hebrew aspect, they always talk about the Lion of Judah, of the instincts. But that's an offshoot, to a same thing. That shit be confusing us on some crazy shit. But anyway, a father and a man is two different things. And, you know, it comes from a man and a young boy just matriculating on his own, being able to grow on his own, wear them stripes, you know. You keep getting a paddling, it's on you to decide whether you want them paddlings to stop or figure the shit out. You know what I'm saying? They used to paddle us in school.
Hell yeah.
Hey, I fought it one time while Miss Petty was paddling me.
I mean, hold up.
Hey.
Hold up, Wheeler, what school you went to? What junior high school you go to?
It was East End. It was East End, but it's Unity now.
Oh, so you went to East.
Yeah.
I went to North, baby.
Yeah. I went to East, man.
Or West, baby. What you want?
Yeah.
Hey,
Bro, go ahead.
West up.
Yeah. No, I wanted to get in on another point on one of the analogies y'all were using about being born a warrior. Mm-hmm. You was talking about the community. Everybody doesn't have the same job. But see, the thing is, everybody might not have the same job, but everybody should be born with the warrior's heart. And that warrior's heart can be taught through the community. Where the community is first.
Facts.
If you always teach community first, then it doesn't matter what your job is. If you a soldier, you're going to do it for the community. If you are a cook, you're going to do it for the community. If you are a janitor, you're going to do it for the community. And everybody has that same warrior heart, even though they might not have the same job. And that's what I'm talking about with the basis of what you teach. You got to teach this warrior heart from the basis. Now, what they grow into is on them. You know, we don't want to take your individuality. You know what I'm saying? So, and when you're always talking about there's a difference between a father and a man, of course, because every man is not a father. Every man will never be a father, but every father should be a man.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? And to pick it back up, you said as far as the warrior's heart, you know, and each person playing a vital role. Marty King mentioned, he said, if you're gonna be a ditch digger, be the best ditch digger. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be the best sanitation worker, be the best sanitation worker. Basically, what you're doing, you're cultivating a warrior's mentality. You know what I'm saying? So it affects the whole community because now you start to establish your greatness, even from the.
Whoa, we froze up again. Come on, Ant. Bring it back home, Ant.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Ant. Ant be going deep. Come on, Ant.
Yeah.
Why y'all doing this to my man? Give him his internet. Come on.
Hey,
Come
man.
on, give Ant back his internet. All right, go ahead.
What happened to Ant? Ant froze up again.
I'm fighting for you, Ant. I'm fighting for you.
Hey, man. Hey. That's a Jerome spirit, man. You know, Jerome should be doing that shit all the time now. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't feel on me, man. Shit, Jerome, I don't want that kind of rite of passage, guys.
I know that's right.
We stay connected, man. But, you know, as I alluded to, man, I mean, just as you said, Jerome, just be the best, you know what I'm saying, person that you can be, man, within the community, man, so that warrior spirit can be developed, you know what I'm saying, you know, at that very moment. And as you said, you know, as you get older, it may change or whatever, but at least, you know, you establish, or it's been established in you to be a warrior. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hey. That's all I can do right there. Because that's facts. That's facts.
Right.
It is, though, we grew up being warriors. I know I grew up being a warrior because when you got to play for Gaffney football, dude, if you try to get on that field, you got to be a warrior, dude. They don't just put anybody out there, you know what I mean? That was coming from a football aspect. Because
I mean, look at our names of our teams that we played outside. We went to Gurnard or, you know, West, we was the Warriors.
Warrior.
You know, then we went to the high school, we were the Indians. You know what I'm saying?
Still Indians.
Yeah, this whole little town built on goddamn pyramid mounds, probably and shit.
You know, one thing that's important, you know, you talk about warriors, right?
Hmm.
And you talk about you had to be a warrior. Well, if you look at when you was using the analogy of a soldier, right?
Hmm.
Well, there's soldiers, then there's mercenaries. Now they both have the same skill level, but one has honor and one, they'll do it for whatever. They really don't have no honor. They really don't have no country. They really don't have no backing. They'll do it for the money. But a soldier do it for the pride of his country. And so that's what you teaching. You're not just teaching just be strong for no reason. You teach them strong for your community. You teach them strong for your family. You teach them strong for your life. You know, so that's why there's such a need for a rite of passage to give guidance to this warrior's heart, to give guidance to this
Yeah.
warrior spirit that you have.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, soldiers.
Because you can grow
Soldiers.
up, be strong, but you might be a mercenary.
You may be
Right,
mercenary, you know,
You know what I'm saying?
you may flip, man. So, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, that what was Snake Eye and the other guy from, you know what I'm saying? The two brothers, they came along at the same time, but they had two different outcomes, you know what I'm saying? One became a soldier, one became a mercenary, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
So,
right.
you know what I'm saying? So they raised with the same principles, you know what I'm saying, with the same teacher, but one decided to go the opposite way, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, but at the end, even with that happening, he still understood there's still honor somewhere within themselves. So
Right.
once it's been planted, and somewhere along the line, it can, you know, it can come out if it's, you know what I'm saying, if something happened to bring that warrior spirit back out from an honorable perspective. A good point, man. Good damn point.
Hey, now, this is what's so eloquent in my illustrious words that I said. I said soldiers are made and warriors are born.
All right.
So this is a manifestation or explanation of showing how thought carries on. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give another reference to Wu-Tang. Always, you know, they throw the darts. You know, they had a song to say, you can't party your life away, drink your life away, smoke your life away, because your seeds grow up the same way, you know? So when you're making a child, and this child is coming from a thought first, it's being planned, it's being set up, it's being predestined, it's having a future carved out for them before it's even here, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And those parents are blossoming in each other and making the union for this baby, and those thoughts carry on. So that warrior is born, and regardless of what you put him through, that warrior is gonna shine. That star is gonna shine. That's why the sun, moon, and stars all have reverence to earth forever. And some rites of passage you have to do to take care of Mother Earth. And that's what the Native Americans were very naturally understanding, you know, some cultures and things they did to the way mind, it would seem strange. But that's how they learned how to give reverence to the earth in itself and understanding the seasons and knowing what time it is and what's going to happen on your lands and understanding the earth. And it always shows reverence to the sun, moon, and the star, and reverence to life always on this earth, and the stars, this childbirth. And when you create beautiful children, they shine as above, so below.
But that's the aspect that we need to learn is respecting nature, understanding nature, understanding what are we here for, and that's where I guess that's when you become a man, when you start understanding those aspects of life. Because if you don't respect this, you don't respect nature, They gonna show you no respect back. You know what I'm
But
saying?
but you know, when you talk about understanding who you are, looking inside yourself, finding strength. If I could, can I get a little Wu-Tang and give you a little Method Man? Method Man, he said, I can be your son. You could be my earth. We're resurrected God through birth.
True indeed.
And so many people miss that the earth is truly a woman and the seed is planted into it. But it takes a true man, a true father to reign like the sun just for that plant or that God to grow. You know, it's our nurturing as a father being over the earth, raining down upon it. But, you know, a lot of people have missed that.
Yeah. And I think about, you know, the warrior spirit, you know, as we keep checking about it, you know, and Chucky brings us back to, I think about, the whole time I'm thinking about Shaka Zulu.
Yeah.
You know, Shaka Zulu was the epitome of that warrior spirit at a young age. You know what I'm saying? He didn't accept none of that shit that was going on with him. He didn't.
Come on, internet.
Come on,
internet. Come on, internet.
Come on, Virginia. Come on, Virginia. Get y'all shit right up there, Virginia. Damn it.
With the outcome, he became the leader of all that shit. Man.
Yo,
you was out for a minute. You was out for a minute.
I don't know, man. I think the weather bad or something, man. Let's check the weather. Yeah, but what I was saying, man, you know, the Shaka Zulu, you know, perspective, man, that's that warrior spirit, man, and that whole rite of passage that he went about to become who he became. You know what I'm saying? But initially, he was a damn warrior, and he became a soldier, but he was a damn warrior from birth. You know what I'm saying? It was, you know, it was prophesied or whatever that this person would come and shake up shit. You know what I'm saying? As a warrior. You know what I'm saying? So his rite of passage was he went through all this shit to become a man, to become a leader of the Zulus, man, one of the greatest armies of all time, man. You know what I'm saying? So
you know what's crazy about that is that, you know, a lot of people see the movie, but a lot of people don't do the research on it.
Exactly.
You know, that was the time that even Shaka Zulu, he wasn't wanting to be in that role. It was his mother. His mother that pushed him to that because she was a warrior.
Right. She was a warrior.
She was a warrior, and she said that is your design. Right. That is your making. You were made to be a warrior. So having that strong earth in your life, man.
The woman, man, that strong earth, man. That strong earth, man. Everything comes from that, man.
That keeps you grounded.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But he had to have that warrior spirit first.
Oh, it was in it.
You know what I'm saying? And she knew it, like, yo, you so special, man. You know what I'm saying? So I have to cultivate that shit. You know what I'm saying? I had to push you through that shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. And once he realized, as y'all said, who he was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When he realized who he was, come on, man. Shaka said, man, this is mine. I run this shit. You know what I'm saying? Now it became about Shaka. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
I'm gonna tell you the most beautiful line from Shaka Zulu, man, is when those missionaries come down there. Woo! Missionaries like, you know, my God baptized through fire, and Shaka Zulu said, around here we eat fire. That's a warrior spirit. That's a warrior's mentality. You can come with whatever you want to come with.
But it also is important that y'all said is what you're speaking into your child.
Exactly.
Hey yo, but look at this though. Now, me coming from a warrior, born through the fire and raised in it, you know what I'm saying? I had a daughter and had to teach love. Oh. Enough to drive a nigga fucking crazy. Like old dirty bastard.
True indeed.
True, but what I'm saying is we have to understand what we say to our children. Don't be calling them crazy names. Don't be kind of down on them, because if you push your kid down constantly, He's not going to stand out. He's going to always crawl through life. And that means that he's going to always need somebody to be a crutch for him. You know what I'm saying? So we need to raise our kids. We need to speak positivity into them. So when they walk with their head up, not always walking with their head down. You know what I'm saying? So it comes to us as parents is what energy are we gonna put into our kid? Are we gonna let the streets raise them, or are we gonna raise them to the fact that the streets don't affect them? You see what I'm saying? You know, when they walking home from the school and they gonna have to go through the streets, they know, yo, I got to get home, versus, yo, I need to go hang out on the block. So it's something that we have to be that impact to our children. Because if we don't, well, we know the system gonna raise them, and we know what the system gonna do. The system gonna put them in jail. Well, you see what they doing to us now. The system gonna, some way, the system is gonna execute you and put you in a bad state that you would never. They're gonna put you in a deeper hole that you're gonna never be able to come out of. So we need to learn that. But then again, that goes back to the self-love. I gotta go back to self-love. So how long we been on? About an hour?
Yeah, about an hour.
Yeah, I might have to wrap this up early today, fellas.
Hey, I do close out, you know, like the formulation of that man, you know what I'm saying, and the knowing thyself, you know what I'm saying, is to first know thyself, you know what I'm saying, take care of yourself first, know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Then, you know, take care of your family, of your family members, or, you know, who you can or whatever. And then your goal and motivation should be to take care of your community and strive for your people, because we are the people.
Facts. Go ahead, Andrew.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. You know, great discussion, gentlemen, man. You know, you put some names out there as far as what it takes for this rite of passage to come about, as far as our young men and even women. You know what I'm saying? So that's a great point that's been mentioned. I concur. Now we just got to implement this shit, man, and put it, you know, into action, man. You know, and it starts with, you know, obviously, as you know, as Chuck alluded to, with oneself, then, you know what I'm saying, then with your family, then, you know, then moving on out, you know what I'm saying, the social circle, man, from, you know, from micro to macro type of stuff, man. So, yeah, just keep that approach, man, and, you know, shit can be a lot, you know, can be a lot better than what it already is, man, and we can make some shit really, you know, really happen, man, you know, in our community.
True indeed. Appreciate y'all fellas being on today. I know it was a little bit brief when we were taking 2.5 hours, but you know, things is different now. So, but I do appreciate y'all being on, and yo, we need to keep this conversation going. This is just the beginning. We didn't even take the Band-Aid off. We just know that the Band-Aid is on. So just keep loving one another. Keep communicating. Keep projecting positive energy in the universe, and then watch it comes back to us. Be a shining star. Be that sun ray. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I just want to say no myself. This is the Three-Headed Monster. Check us out on YouTube. I'm the Three-Headed Monster icon. With our icon. So we on Podbean, Three-Headed Monster. So close us out, Jerome.
All right.
We can't hear you, B.
Oh, yeah, your sound was fading out.
What the hell? My bad.
Yeah, what your ass get.
That's right. Check us out on YouTube on the Three-Headed Monster on
close that shit out.
Icon.
Calm down, Ant. You about to make your shit go out again.
I know, right?
I'm done. Go ahead and close us out, Jerome.
All right, man. Listen, with the rite of passage, you know, it's just the basis of how to be an adult, how to start your life and your journey into adulthood. It starts with 3 principles that we certainly need. we need business science, we need military science, and then we need the science of relationship. When we talk about self-love, because I hear that seems to be a theme for us, which is great. You have to love yourself regardless. You know, what you were made, how you were made, you still got to love yourself. Once you are comfortable with yourself, you're comfortable with being great. A lot of us don't want to be great because we never got comfortable with ourselves. So that's one of the things that it starts with. When you learn about your history, you learn how great your history is, you learn that you're a part of it, and then you start to love your history, you start to love yourself, then you develop into what you're supposed to be. Like I said, this is the beginning. I hope we further the discussion. It's always great being on with you guys, man. Until we do it again. Peace.
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 That's what's up.